Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922, ready to do my fairy tale episode review. This is episode 109, Lucy's Fire. This episode had everything. It had fan service. It was so ridiculous. Some fairy tale episodes are serious. Some are just completely, funny shit happening. And then there are other times where it's serious and funny shit happening. Basically what happened was Lucy, like we spelled out from the last episode, Lucy was knocked out by Kana because she wants to go visit Mavis, Millennium's grave. So she's knocked out, and the guy, I forgot the guy's name. The name of the guy from the Seven Kins of Purgatory. Kins of Purgatory. But this guy was huge and such, and he had like this doll, a Kersey doll. And he was like intimidating Lucy, and Lucy gave him the evil eye and all. And by the way, this episode was really touching at times between Lucy and Natsu. So basically, she has this fight with him, and she's trying to do everything possible. And she actually gets the doll away from him, and she does these crazy things with him and stuff. Oh, so funny. But basically, she's using her celestial being, her celestial spirits, to fight this guy. And nothing's working. Absolutely nothing is working. She uses almost all of them. And nothing works. She uses Scorpion. She uses Bull. She uses I forgot her name. The sheep. The girl sheep. Nothing works. Absolutely nothing works. So eventually she's fallen down. She's getting beat up pretty badly too. She's fallen down, and he's in the air, and he's doing this. He can turn the doll, whatever he turns the doll into, he becomes, because of the strength of his hairs. So he becomes iron. He tries to, and then meanwhile, Lucy and this guy, I forgot the guy's name, they interrupt Altair's and Natsu's fight. And Natsu's having a hard time against Altair, and he just chums in out of nowhere, and then Natsu's charging, and he hits him in the face. Oh, it was great. But from there, it's like a 2-on-2 scenario. But then, Natsu and Lucy changes her hair, and Natsu does this weird thing, and they're ready to fight these guys now. And basically, a lot of funny shit in this episode now. It was this ridiculous. Basically, what happens is Altair decides to leave because she's got Zeref. So she tells him to, you could take care of these people. So then Natsu goes after him, and he hits him. He gets up, and then Lucy decides to go after him, but she can't move. And that's because he somehow plucked one of her hairs and put it on the Kersey doll. So he's just doing all these weird things with her, and it's so funny, this episode. All these weird things and so on and so forth. Beating up on Natsu and everything. At one point, Happy gets the doll. Oh my god, it was so funny. He pushes Natsu's face into Lucy's boob chest. It was so funny. And eventually what happens is they're fighting, and then Natsu gets hit by him. He hits this wall, and then he falls, and the rocks pile on top of him. And he doesn't really... It's so funny because then Lucy... Then it gets serious. It really does. Lucy falls, and she's on the ground, and he stomps on her, that guy. And Natsu's telling her to run. He says, no, I'm not going to run. I'm not leaving my friends behind. And then there's this, like, kind of sad moment, just a smile on her face and everything. And then Natsu, he doesn't know what to do, and he sees the doll, and he's like, and when this guy, the guy's going to crush her head, he grabs the doll and using it to fight him. It was so ridiculous. And he's bending Lucy in so odd ways. It was unbelievable. And then Natsu does the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen. Because this was really a lot of comedic stuff happening in this episode, and a lot of fan service. Oh my god, Lucy's he lights one of the hands on fire. So Lucy's hand is on fire, and then what happens is he gives the doll to Happy, and Happy just goes max speed towards the guy, and it's like a Lucy fireball. And that's what happened. That's why the episode was called Lucy's Fire. And he knocked him out, and then that was it. That's pretty much what happened there. And they defeated the guy, and they're like, they're all happy and stuff. Lucy and Natsu. But it was a touching moment between Lucy and Natsu. I think, I don't think there was a scene in this show yet between where Lucy and Natsu were like, Oh, well, they were. Wait. My bad. There was actually. It's in the beginning of the show. It was towards the beginning with the whole Phantom Lord thing. But after that, it was really, Natsu's really like his relationship with, females in this show. Like you compare it, his relationship with Lucy, his relationship with Urza, his relationship with Mary Jane. Well, not really with Mary Jane, but his relationship with Lisa Anna. That was the only girl in that really he had true feelings for. I think he could have true feelings for Lucy, but it's, or Urza. But, not much of Urza in this episode. But towards the end, you get a preview of next week's. I would give this, if I were to rate this episode, just because of the funny shit going on, I would actually give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was pretty good. Next week's is going to be better, though. Definitely better than this week's was. Even so. Even though this week's was good. What happens is Meth, he shows up again. The guy that's working for the Magic Council. I don't know how I think he can transport, but he shows up, and you got Natsu, Lucy, Wendy, the three cats, Happy, they're all together, and they're deciding what to do or stuff. It's coming ahead. That's what it is. It's coming ahead, with everything. Eventually, hopefully, they'll get to the whole thing with Hades. But I really like this show. It's really amazing how much I like this show. I don't know what it is about Fairy Tail. I just really like it. This was a good episode. I like the humor. I like the fan service. The action isn't too bad. But if I would have to suggest who of the females I really like, it's one of those two, or both, in fact. I still think Elisa Anna's a very good one. She's very good. I like her as a character. So is Mary Jane. But there's something about Lucy and Urza that strike me. They're like, especially Urza. And I just noticed J-Zone Productions. He did a video, and he made a comment on my channel about cool, channel. Must have been looking at the Urza thing. Urza and Lucy, to me, are probably one of the two most interesting characters in the whole show. I think their past and everything they've been through is very interesting stuff. But this was a good chapter. You know, this whole Lucy fire, that was amazing. You know, you saw her. Her jigglies. Her bending all over the place and making pin-ups. It's like crazy. It was a good episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Very, very much so. Very much so. We'll see what happens next week with the chapter in the episode review. Like I said, 12 days of fairy tale. That might be a moment. This episode might be a moment. I don't know. What I'll have to do is I'll have to really dig deep with this. If I pull this off, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'll probably do it like some kind of thing, you know? I'll edit it maybe, where I put some kind of thing in the beginning of the video, and it moves on from there. Well, we'll see, you know. Alright guys, good episode of Fairy Tail, and, you know, good on you. 3.5 out of 5. It was very good. I liked it. See you guys later.